How to read charts, part 2. If you didn't watch yet part 1, look at it at description extra link. So in the part 1 we talk about symbols, how to read a chart that is for the flat crocheting, like you work in a rows, row 1 one direction, rows 2 second direction, opposite direction, and so on. This video about working charts in the round. So here is one of the examples I have. This is like a square, I call it sunny granny square. You can find this on my Instagram, and if you need extra description, there's also written instruction corresponding written instruction to this chart. So what you need to know to work in a round, what is different from flat crocheting. The same as working in a round or in the rows, you have your key. So if you have a key near the chart, it's perfect. You know your symbols, you know what it means. So if this is oval, this is chain. If it is tall thing with extra line here, it's a double crochet. For example, in this chart, slip stitch is a dot. So we know all our symbols and how we started. This example, how to work in a round starting from the center. For example, many motifs, like here I have in a book, like kind of flower or star, this kind of motifs, they works in a round and starting in the center. So you need to find your center, and sometimes it's like a curve here showing magic ring. Sometimes it's starting with chains. So this is your, for example, here it's row number 1 starting with chains. If you have a number on the chart, it's probably this is your starting point, and you need to work the row round counterclockwise. So this is our number 1. We start counting our stitches counterclockwise. 1 2 3 4 chains, and finishing round usually with slip stitch. Here's your slip stitch, connecting, making little circle here. So after you finish your first round, look at most likely you will find some kind of beginning chain of your next round. If you have a number, here's your number. This is your beginning chain of the next round. It's like a turning chain from working flat, but because we don't turn it here, we just need to go up if it's a tall stitch, for example, like here, double crochet. So for double crochet, we have 3 chains and then starting our double crochet here. And again, we work counterclockwise, going every stitch as the same as working in rows, stitch after stitch, making each one and working till the end, till the beginning of your round, and connect with a slip stitch. Here, for example, this is a slip stitch connecting last 3 chains to the first to the top chain of the beginning chain of this round. And the same here, starting our next round, in this case round, yes, with beginning chains, working counterclockwise and again finishing with a slip stitch. Sometimes, for example, here we need to go with a slip stitch a little bit further. For example, we connect this, but we can't start next round at this point. We need to go to different place to start the round. Then you will have extra slip stitches to coming to the point when will next round starts. So for example, here 1, 2, 3 slip stitch, and then we work this round. Also, and so you can you work as many rounds you have here. This is a small element, small motif, only 5 rounds. This is also, for example, only 5. Sometimes we have bigger project, and it's so to eliminate too many repetition, to draw this repetition again and again, we will have only partial. For example, here you see this centerpiece is fully charted, but then it's kind of like a snowflake. Then this chart show you how to start the next rounds. It shows you the repetition part, but then you just go in the same repetition, only in a different place. Again, making this, and then you see here a right arrow. It gives you idea, so that you need to work the same thing only here. You need to work the same thing only here, and so on. If, for example, here is 6 segments for a snowflake. So sometimes it will be like a big segment growing only segment, and then you will know how many times to repeat this exact segment. So this is all about starting in a round, but starting from the center. But what about if you have some kind of project that have specific circumference, and you will be working this circumference, but not starting from the middle? For example, a cowl or a poncho or some kind of pullover, you have a bigger circumference, yes? Then you don't have this kind of chart. You may have this kind of chart. It is flat. It's almost look the same as if you work from the rows, like here, for example. It is almost the same chart. Okay, let me grab the camera to show you more. So this is more almost the same chart, but this is flat and this is in the round. So symbol the same, but only without having these borders. And how to work this kind of chart? Okay. You will have also numbers for each round. Sometimes each of these numbers will go close to the beginning of the round. Sometimes it's like on a side, just to show you what is number 1, number 2, and so on. And for example, this chart have extra description for beginning of the round chains. So this is dark solid ovals. This is our beginning of the round. That means we start it here, not here at the number, like, and for this round, not here, but starting with the beginning of the round chains. And we work from this beginning of the round chain to the left. So we work every stitch as usual here, skipping if you need to skip, work this part, skipping in here, and so on. And at the point we finish this round, we need to connect, yes? Here is a simple round. You repeat. I'll get to repetition right in a second. So you work this, and at some point you coming back to beginning of the round, and usually it's a slip stitch. In this particular case we have a slip stitch mark, not as a dot but as this little curve. And after you finish your round, you slip stitch at specific point, in this case to the single crochet, and as I told already before, so you need sometimes extra slip stitch to come to different point to start next round. For example, have 1, 2, and then we coming to the next round. Again, we have here beginning of the round chain, then work every stitch to the left, and then coming here and slip stitching. Next, for example, here round 3, it's a little bit more tricky because we have here starting normal sequence, but normal sequence will be 5 double crochet, for example, for this one, but we need to split them and work partially of these 5 at the beginning and partially of these 5 at the end of the round. So that's why we have here beginning, then working all the stitches that we need to work, and coming back and finishing all the stitches that is right from the beginning chain. We finish with them and then again slip stitch here. And next round, for example, here we're splitting this kind of sequence in the middle, starting with the beginning of the chain, beginning of the round chain, and working all the stitches. And as usually we will have in this kind of patterns also repeats. I didn't mark like a full all the repeats, just mark here number of stitches at the bottom, but you can also find in this kind of stitch pattern, not stitch pattern, this kind of charts also repeats that's marked in a different color, or some kind of extra visual help to see what and which one of the stitches you need to repeat in each round before you come to the end and finish these extra parts. So again, to work in a round, you start either for the middle and work next each of the round counterclockwise, coming and finishing each of the round with slip stitch, for example, here. Or if you work bigger circumference, you have more chart that looks more like a flat piece, and you start with the beginning chains, work all the stitches to the left, and then if you have extra at the end of the row, you need to finish these stitches right that is placed right from the beginning chain, and most likely you will finish again with slip stitch or several slip stitches. Okay, I think hope this helps to understand more charts. And again, if you are looking more for the charts working in rows, watch the part 1, and this is about charts working in a round. Thanks.